Hello friend, my name is Chelsea. Welcome to my channel, your friend Chelly. If you need a backstory, in high school my friends started calling me Chelly and it really stuck with me. Also, in one of my friend groups, there is a Chelsea C and I'm also Chelsea C. Chelly is just a little bit easier sometimes, or we'll just sit there and be confused. So, I'm Chelsea, or Chelly. Welcome to my channel if this is your first time being here. I run a small business on Instagram and Etsy called Thread the Line, where I make sweatshirts that mainly pertain to, well, things I love, which are Jesus Christ and TV shows. You need to know that about me, that I do not create things that I don't love. I have seen so many businesses who are absolutely phenomenal, and I admire a lot, create a business solely about Harry Styles. It blows my mind. And I will link all of those businesses in the description because they are fabulous. But you're not going to see Harry Styles designs on my shop. It's just not something that I'm passionate about. It's not something that I love. But what I do love is Jesus Christ, Savior of the universe, lover of my soul. Created my business around him. And to him be all the glory for everything that I do, including this video here. Maybe you're like, Chelly, okay, what are we doing? What are we doing? Today, we are going to be online shopping and kind of putting together a cart that I believe is essential for you to start your embroidery business. So this is going to be just a culmination of things that I got when I first started my embroidery business, as well as things that I feel like I wish I had when I started and could be good for you to start with. You can take and leave things how you want to, okay? I had to buy an iMac. You might not need to do that. Grandma gave you some thread or an old machine. You don't need that on this list. So take and leave it, all right? On the side of the screen, you are going to see our shopping cart that will total everything up of what we are going to buy, and we're going to go from there. Some terms are going to come up in this video, and if you are not familiar with them, you can go check out my embroidery vocabulary terms video, and that will give you some more clarification, so when you get to this point, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I got my trusty iPad here, and we are going to do some shopping. Alright, so first up on our list is an embroidery machine, obviously, because that's the most important part of this. I'm going to show you the embroidery machine that I got when I first started, which is the Brother SE. Now look, don't get me lying. I believe it's the Brother SE625. It is a 4x4 machine. You can also check out my introducing you to myself and my embroidery machines video to kind of see different ins and outs about my machine and how I use it. For the purposes of this video, we're actually going to go a step up. We are going to get the Brother PE800 machine. I find that machine to be a little bit better for beginners based on some of the people that I've interacted with on my Facebook groups. The main reason I like that one is because it's a 5x7 hoop, and I like that better because a 4x4 is kind of restricting. And so when I was getting a machine, my second machine, Poppy, the lady told me, get the biggest thing that you can afford. And that's my advice to you, but for cost-efficient purposes and just to give everybody a general starting place, we are going to get the Brother PE800. So I actually went to a sewing store, in-person sewing store called Southeast Sewing, and it was in downtown Atlanta. They had the machine there, and I'm going to pop in a video of what it looked like in person. If we just go to Brother's website, you can go to their products list, sewing and embroidery machines, and then you can go to embroidery machines. The machine that I have, the SE625, I got directly from Brother's website as a refurbished machine. As you can see, there's some on here that are kind of similar. My first machine is a embroidery and sewing combo. Even though I don't know how to sew, I do like having that feature because I played around with it a little bit. But right here is going to be our Brother PEC. I feel like I've been saying it wrong this whole time. Just listen to the numbers. Don't worry about the letters I'm saying. PE800. This is the machine that we are going to look at for the purposes of this video. It is $850, and we are going to add that to our cart. So this machine is sold out on Brother's website as well as Amazon. So my next suggestion to you is to find a sewing store closest to you. They are authorized dealers of Brother, so they kind of partner with Brother to get machines, and I think that is your best bet to buy a machine. Either call Brother's support and they can reference you or refer you to a local dealer, or you can go in and put in your address and kind of see it that way to find a sewing store near you. Most of the time they will not give you a quote for a price online. Maybe for some of these smaller machines that'll be okay, but we're going to just put the $8.50 in our cart for now and move on. Now we're going to pop over to Amazon. This part is going to be fairly straightforward. We're going to get thread. This is some of the thread that I've ordered in the past. I really like this. It's called like the differ packs. I like that it has different shades of the same color in it. That has been very helpful to me. So I have 3 of these boxes. This is the very first pack of thread that I bought. It is a 30 pack of just assorted colors, and I still have most of them. The only ones that I do not have colors of anymore are white, black, red, and I'm almost out of my brown. Surprisingly, never thought brown thread would be so hot, but it is for me. So I love this pack. I like this brand. It's not the like most top quality embroidery brand, but I do think it is a great starting place for you. I'm just looking through my like previous purchase list. I also got these giant spools of black and white thread. Obviously, maybe not obviously, but these are colors that I use the absolute most. I didn't understand, even though it says it in huge letters here, that this is a huge spool. Literally a huge spool. Okay, they are quite large, and it didn't fit on my smaller embroidery machines, and so that I'm going to show you something that is optional for your list. This is a thread rack, like a little thread spool thing. So you basically like put your thread on it and then thread that through your machine, so it's like sits on the table and you can like thread it the same. It doesn't have to sit on the little boop. You don't have to put it on the, you don't have to like slide it on the boop. You can just like put it on the table. I love this. It is very good quality and heavyweight, and it works perfectly for my smaller machines. So we have thread, we have optionals, and we are going to put them in our shopping cart, our list, our money bank. Another good thing about having the really large spools of white and black especially is for the next thing that we're going to get, which is bobbin. So the bobbin I got was in a case, just like this. So this case comes with 25 pre-wound bobbins. Believe me when I tell you, it will not take you more than a month, maybe 2 months to get through all of these, especially if you're just trying new things or embroidering often. Hi, Nugget. Why are you so tired? You want to go lay down? Can you say hi at least? No. So you're going to go through bobbin pretty quickly, which is why I recommend just keeping that in mind, really. So this bobbin case is great. So basically, so what I do now is I take that big white thread spool of thread that I have, and I use it to rewind my bobbin. This is nice because once you run out of these 25 spools of bobbin, you can use the empty ones and rewind them on your machine and make more and have a place to store it, which is why I still recommend getting this, even though you don't technically need it. And some days I will just take maybe like 30 minutes and rewind everything so I have a new fresh case. So that's why the white has been really helpful for me. I also got a random pack of like 5 spools of white thread because I wanted to make a skin colored thread, like a white person, like a white person's skin color, because I was doing my Dwight Pumpkinhead, and I needed like something that was going to match his skin complexion better than like a peach. I actually took some RET dye or RIT dye, and I dyed a spool of thread that I still use to this day as skin color. You guys can always get a thread rack if you see fit. I did, and I love my thread rack. But we're going to add all of those things to our cart, and now we're going to go get some needles. I've always been told that the 7511 or 11 needles, that people say them differently, are the best for embroidery, and that is what I use. And for some reason, I cannot find it. Maybe I just should have searched it. So this one is 50 needles. I don't think you need that many. However, at some point, you probably will use them. So you can kind of take it or leave if you want that or a smaller pack. And I was trying to find a smaller pack too, and that's what we're going to put in our cart for our cost for needles. But I do think it is necessary for you to have. And then we are going to look for stabilizer. I'm not going to get into like specific stabilizers because I think that is all up to your discretion and how you want to use it. And so here is a yard of, whatever that means. This is tearaway stabilizer. You guys can see this is the cutaway stabilizer that I initially got when I first started, and it works really good for the 4x4 machine because it's like the same. It's a little bit bigger than the hoop size, and it came in sheets, so I like that I could just like pull a sheet, put it on there. And I'm just gonna go with $18 for that for our cart and our purposes, just to give you an idea of like a medium range of how much the stabilizer would cost. So a few other noteworthy things to talk about is what are you going to embroider on? When I first started, I took some of my nephew's shirts and I embroidered on that, but eventually you're going to work your way up to like what you actually want to do it on, which could be a sweatshirt, a hat, or a tote bag, whatever you want to use. And so I normally get my sweatshirts from Amazon. We're going to just budget for 3 sweatshirts and say 8 times 3 is 24. We're going to put $24 worth of sweatshirts in our cart for that. Other things to mention that I'm going to put in our optional category are scissors. I have big giant fabric scissors. I have regular like kindergarten scissors. And then I have really small like fine cut point scissors. And so I do recommend having different types of scissors and working with that, but that is going to be optional and up to you. The next thing that I think is optional is spray adhesive. This is something that I'd like to discuss a little bit more, but for the purposes of now, whenever I do a tote bag, I will hoop the stabilizer by itself, spray this temporary spray adhesive on it, and then flip the tote bag inside out. Like if this is a tote bag, like inside out, and then place only one layer onto the stabilizer using the spray adhesive. I normally get mine from Hobby Lobby, and if I find a little picture, I'll pop it up. That is also optional, but now looking back on it, I wish I would have had it at the beginning. And then the last thing we're going to talk about is technology. So if you're like, you know what, I'm going to digitize by myself, the software that I suggest to everyone is Stitch Artist by Embroidery. I love this software. It's very simple, it's very user-friendly, and they have tutorials from the makers on YouTube. Also ordered this on Amazon, which is what I did. It comes in a DVD for your college textbooks, or maybe that's just the stage of life I'm in right now. If you go to your college textbooks, in the back it comes with like a little code that you can put online. That's exactly what you're going to do with Stitch Artist. So you can go to their website to read more about kind of the ins and outs of the software, so you can kind of get a better understanding of what you need. As just a reference, I have Stitch Artist level 1 and 2. Level 1 cost me $179, and I think it was well worth it, because if not, I couldn't create my own designs with as much speed and like not having to like communicate back and forth with someone over a design. I normally draw it on my iPad and then go put it on my computer and digitize it by myself. I'm also in a Facebook group for that, and they have been so helpful for me like developing my skills with digitizing, but it has been a very fun skill to learn, if we're being completely honest. I also bought an iMac. I only had an iPad at the time, and Stitch Artist, you need something. Either I got a laptop or like a desktop computer, so I decided to go I'm sorry, my foot is literally asleep. Oh my gosh. So I opted for the desktop computer, and I love it, but that set me back another $1,200. I have no regrets about any of this. I love the software, I love my desktop, and so these are just kind of even more things to consider that added to my total cost. So I'm also going to put those in the optional section. So right now all that we have in our like mandatory but still optional section are a machine, needles, thread, bobbin, stabilizer. I have to do it. I can't sustain. Oh my gosh. Dude, come on, wake up. Wake up. Okay, my foot's waking up. As you go, you may develop some more things that you may need from me. That was a table to actually embroider on. The thread rack came later. Oh, traveling cases. Because I was going back and forth from college to home, I got a little like carrying bag. Go with what you feel. Get what you need. This is just a starting place for you, and if you're still thinking about starting an embroidery business, this could be a great place to start just to get your wheels turning, you know? That is the end of this video. Thank you for watching. It means a lot to me that you would just take the time to watch this, because I want to be here as a resource to you so that you can develop your skills or develop your ideas and just be the best person you could be. I am so glad that you were here watching this video and here on this earth. You are so loved, and I pray that you have the best day ever. With love, it is Chelsey signing out.